wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Do what?
I didn't do anything. I swear. He was like this when I got here.
My name's James. James Sunderland.
Eddie.
Eddie. Who's that dead guy in the kitchen?
I didn't do it. I swear I didn't kill anybody.
You're not friends with that red pyramid thing, are you?
Red pyramid thing? I don't know what you're talking about. Honest. But I did see some weird-looking monsters. They scared the hell out of me, so I ran in here.
Well, I guess this place isn't too safe either. What happened here anyway?
I told you, I don't know. I'm not even from this town. I just...
You too, huh? Something just brought you here, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Well, whatever it is, I think you better get out of here soon.
Yeah, you're right. What about you?
I'll leave as soon as I'm done here. Eddie, be careful.
James, you be careful too.
Eddie, are you okay?
Yeah, I guess.
So with that bit of lens flare, we meet yet another person in Silent Hill, Eddie. Eddie seems to be a bit more dodgy than Angela was, especially whenever we pose some questions to him. But we'll be meeting up with him later and learning a bit more about him. Along with this particular adjacent room to the bathroom that he's vomiting into. Quite a bit of football memorabilia items in there. I wonder if that could be alluding to something. But that's for postulation at a different time. It appears we've found what could have caused Eddie to vomit. Though he seemed to be quick to the defense about whether or not he actually had any hand in that dead body. Not that James would have any reason to assume that he actually did, considering the amount of monsters that would probably cause a homicide before the dumpy bro would. But there isn't that much more to the first floor, just a little bit more to explore. And obviously a few more lying figures to take down with our firearm. It may seem initially that, 60 bullets is a lot, but when you consider that it could take 4 to 5 shots to take down an enemy, you could easily go through shots pretty quickly, especially if you're not really practiced with shooting in the first place. But it looks like there is a brochure here to sell an out-of-towner on the idea of coming to Silent Hill for a vacation. Yet again, if this is going by too quickly, feel free to pause the video, take your time to read over it. Basically, though, it's just explaining that the main attraction of the town is basically Toluca Lake and the visage that you can get from Toluca Lake. And that for some reason, apparently, the town is very peaceful. I think James can agree that it will give him memories that will last forever, but whether or not that is a positive or negative is, well, it's probably a negative, to say the least. And a bit weird that it mentions a Roger Widmark. Roger Widmark's name actually doesn't really come up anywhere else. I think it might come up somewhere in Silent Hill 3, but I was having a bit of trouble finding any information really on it per se. But the only other thing left is this is basically a return to the stairwell, which we actually don't need to go back that way. So the only other thing we really need to do is figure out a use for that for that 6-pack of juice. And that use that we're actually going to put it into for is actually on the 2nd floor of the apartment. If you may remember, in the previous video, there was a trash chute that was basically backed up with a rather large bag of garbage, and now we have a considerable weight to unplug the trash chute. Now, whether or not this seems obvious to anyone is purely subjective, I suppose. But let's go back outside of the apartments to the trash chute itself and investigate our reward. First off, we get another coin. And we also get a little bit of reading material. Yet again, pause the video if I'm going too fast. This particular gossip magazine actually has a rather important character that doesn't really come up till Silent Hill 4: The Room, which is Walter Sullivan. He apparently murdered two kids and then committed suicide. He apparently seemed to think that he was being followed around by demons and that the murders weren't really his fault. Obviously, this doesn't really hold up in court, so he was sentenced with the murders, obviously. But not before jamming a spoon into his neck and bleeding to death. It's basically foreshadowing for another game. And more or less just more backstory for what Silent Hill can really do to the mentality of a person, to say the least. But now that we have basically what we need from this apartment, let's actually we actually have one more key to use, which is the fire escape, which is actually located back up on the 2nd floor. So I just decided to cut back up to the 2nd floor, and we're going to go ahead and use the fire escape door.